All right, we are back from our break. The party has succeeded in taking care of some fire giant pirates and getting back underway, heading towards the anvil. You can see it ahead of you. It's still, you would estimate, 2 days away. And you can see the giant bird that the planet rests on. The wings slowly flapping through the course of a day, kind of thing. And you make your way. You continue to make your way onward. Higgimus. Yeah, you don't feel any need for food.
I'm not hungry. I warned from getting sick.
You're not sure what it is. You just haven't needed any food in a few days.
Huh. Okay.
Is it just Higgimus or everybody?
Just Higgimus. But you make sure that you get the fire giants that you're towing. I assume you're keeping them in the long ship. Make sure that they're getting enough food and water and everything like that.
Yeah. We've taken all the stuff out of that ship, right? That they had.
Everything that you were aware of. I mean, you.
Got sailing supplies and stuff. But you might also keep it on the ship if you're planning on sailing the ship.
No one did a search for secret compartments, but
yeah,
I did the map a bit.
Could Braxon use his ship skills to look for secret compartments?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look for secret compartments, then you can definitely do so.
Oh.
No, I'll roll. Give me a second.
Oh, the elves should probably do that too.
No, I was just thinking about using Speak with Dead on the giants, but maybe on the leader at the very least.
The dead giants say, "Stop shaving me."
Can you speak Dwarven?
I can speak Dwarven.
Okay.
I just wanted to know if we've thrown them overboard, so to speak.
Well, I believe Braxon suggested. Was it Braxon that suggested giving them funerals?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would have.
The fire giants would have said yes. Put them in the direction of the head of the hammer.
And so we probably would have done that just to keep any undead fire giants from being a problem floating through space.
Well, that and keeping corpses from
fouling air.
Yeah, rotting.
And because it's a decent thing to
fouling air, Susie come in contact with a thing.
Keep an eye on the Roll20 chat in case I whisper something to someone, please.
Oh.
I want to use. This is the start of the day, isn't it, so to speak?
Yeah, basically.
I mean, because I would use contact tone power, and I could start keep track of that.
Okay. And you guys are searching for some secret compartments on the ship, right?
Yeah, I will help in the search.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. Lafdul wants to kill time, so to speak.
Okay. You do not find anything in particular.
Okay. Wonder how much we'll get for the ship.
As long as we're able to recoup our costs for dead crew and stuff.
Yeah. Well, the other alternative is to take it apart for lumber to fix our ship. Because we've still got to fix our ship up, and we haven't got enough wood.
Do you get like 20 hull points worth of wood out of this? So to speak, so it's 20 tons.
No, because you can't use every piece of wood on your ship, kind of thing. Generally, you just sell it for scrap and then buy new wood. The fact that you're towing it right now, you wouldn't want to start stripping it.
Maybe I had to trade it for repairs.
You would. It would reduce the cost of repairs, but not that much. One thing that I do want to point out is that you can repair faster if you hire people who are carpenters.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need a ship's carpenter for any team that you have
Right.
that's working, and right now you only have Braxon.
Maybe we should get some more carpenters when we next hire crew.
All right. Make a note of it.
Braxon can have his entourage.
Yeah.
You're Biggs and Wedge.
Braxon could form a little singing group with them.
Once Braxon got high enough level, instead of getting a retinue of fighters, he will get a retinue of carpenters.
They're all armed with like war hammers and giant chisels and.
Next thing he needs is a barbershop quartet.
Yeah, if Braxon formed a singing group of carpenters, he could sing "Why do wooden ducks suddenly appear every time Lafdul's near?"
Oh yeah, what happened to those wooden ducks that Leva summoned?
Well, they were created by major creation. They disappear after a time
Okay.
because they're not
Yeah.
real. They're only semi-real.
Pity.
Ockar, during the trip, the remaining part of the trip, you idly draw another card from the deck.
Oh no.
And taking a glance at it, you see that the card is displaying a figure of a mason, and he appears to be carving some coins into stonework. And there are two robed figures looking on, and one of those is holding some sort of plans that appears to be what the mason is working from. And there are 3 coins carved into the stonework. This is you drew it upright rather than reversed, but since you do not have the fortune-telling skill, you don't actually know what that means.
Okay. I guess I could get that to non-weapon proficiency at some point.
You could.
I guess I just shrug and put it back.
Yep.
You'd be one of a kind, a paladin that tells fortunes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Other than that,
probably-
yeah, go ahead.
I just gotta wait until I hit level 9.
Other than that, you nothing else eventful happens. The giants being still injured, even though they did heal a bit. They and you've taken out their captain, taken out most of their crew. They give you no trouble. They surrendered, and they're abiding by their surrendership. As long as you're treating them well, you think that they're going to be reasonable. But you do have the Giff, watching over them primarily, all the time.
They might change their mind once we get to the dwarf's place.
Perhaps. But you...
Dwarves are still honourable, even if they are the hated enemy.
Dwarves are generally lawful good, yeah. You arrive in orbit around above the anvil, the slightly concave surface facing the hammer, and going by the information that you have on where you need to go, you locate the city in question and begin to head down.
Right.
Each of the charts that you get comes with information about where to take your ships, where the appropriate ports are for spelljammers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the information that it says about this place is that they have a dry dock that services ships that can't normally land on land. However, since these are, the dry dock is normally where ships are repaired and stuff like that, they do charge extra. So you can take down the whole Dolphin, or you can leave it in orbit and take the shuttle down. It's up to you.
I think we're going to take the whole ship down because I think we need to do some repairs. Plus, I'll ask Braxon to signal ahead and say that we have captured a pirate ship and have pirate prisoners.
Before we do that,
Huh.
Lever said to me about could we use the giants as crew? Do we know they're evil?
You know that fire giants are generally malicious. They are not. They have a sort of honor in that if they're known to if they give their word they'll keep it, but they are also known as man eaters and stuff like that. So depending on the world.
Right.
What a pity.
They would probably enslave people too.
Yeah.
And plus, it brings our good name into question if we go around with slaves.
And
Oh, but Lafdul would
dwarves,
have a
dwarves
terrible
in
time
our
with it.
employ might not like it.
Roger.
Well, well, we wouldn't have slaves. I just thought that there's kind of like over catapults.
It is
dwarves
slavery.
might not like that we have giants in the crew.
Well, no, I just thought they might prefer to stay with us and get handed over.
They tried to kill us.
Yeah, they
They
are
did try and
pirates.
kill us.
They are pirates, so they should
Right,
be
okay.
It doesn't matter what terms
hand
we're going to
over
offer
to the
them.
authority.
Fair enough, we'll hand them over.
Yeah.
All right. So you begin to make your way down through the planet's atmosphere. You see the city as you approach it. There is a large, deep lake out front of significant size. On some worlds, you would say perhaps even a small sea. It was 3 days in total, including the 12 hours that you were in the strange, foggy place.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a dry dock there?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Sorry.
But you bring your ship in and begin signaling them, informing them of what's going on, that you have this long ship that they can clearly see. And they signal back to let out the line, let it down in the water, and you can see a dwarven ship preparing to come out to tow it in. And they then direct you to the dry dock facilities after informing you of the cost. It'll be 5 gold pieces per day that you're docked.
Okay.
They do not have an air charge because this is a planet, so you don't have to worry about that. But they will. They do have a water charge of 2 silver pieces per day.
Okay. Is there a deposit?
I'm not gonna do that just because that's extra work.
So when we leave, you'll let me know the price.
Yeah.
All right, I'm comfortable with that.
All right. So they take custody of the fire giants and the fire giant ship, and you bring your ship carefully into the dry dock and bring it down onto the blocks. Your ship is secured in place, and they bring over a kind of a tower arm to get up to where your main deck is. This did mean that everything that was on the reverse gravity deck was secured before you came down, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which does mean Lafdul's and Sinrae's quarters. So.
Sorry, I was typing something as you said that. Sorry.
That means Sinrae has to tie down a wooden duck.
She takes care of tying everything down in her quarters, and Lafdul would do so as well. Your quarters are reverse gravity.
Oh.
So did they sleep upside down?
Probably in these situations, they would just string up hammocks. Rather than doing anything else.
Oh, that means my rug's gonna be. Yeah. I have to
probably roll
tie up my rug and everything.
You would probably roll it up and put it under the bed.
Yeah, probably.
Can't you just staple it down?
What would happen to my safe? Because as soon as it switches to reverse gravity, that thing's going to smash into the floor.
I would assume that is secured to the floor.
Nailed in or something. Yeah.
How do we get the helm to work? Because the helm room is on the reverse gravity deck.
Yeah.
So presumably you have to tie someone to the ceiling.
Yeah, there's seatbelts.
Do I have to access my safe upside down?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I doubt that the levels are vaulted ceilings.
This is so
they're flat
dangerous
ceilings.
because my safe's trapped, and it's probably going to handicap to me. I'm not.
I mean, you may not be
You could
here
take
all
out-
that long.
Lafdul could take out anything he wanted before we landed.
Yeah.
And then lock it up.
Yeah, it just means I'm not storing anything in my safe.
And, well, I mean, you can still
Actually, no.
store stuff. Just stuff that you don't expect to use.
Yeah, the majority of my money, basically.
And the thing is that until the ship actually sets down and is secured, like, there's generally still going to be... I mean, until it sets down, you still have gravity. It doesn't reverse as soon as you come into the air envelope. You have to actually get pretty close to an object. But the city itself is built in terraces leading up the side of a mountain, basically. And you do know from Noberduk that the temple that you're looking for is at one of the higher points of the city.
Okay.
Lafdul, you cast no customs, and the customs are pretty standard that you'd expect from dwarves and everything like that. Nothing jumps out at you as being unusual.
Was there anything to do with piracy and stuff? Anything particular?
It's pretty standard stuff. They don't specify exactly the punishments. It's usually left up to magistrates.
Oh, usual.
Usually hard labor or death, depending on the degree of, like how notorious the pirate is and stuff like that. You are greeted by, as a group, you're greeted by a good dozen armed dwarves who come to ask about the giants. I assume that you'll just relay the events of the fight.
Yeah, just tell them about what they were doing, what trick they were using, and that good stuff.
The dwarves, the dwarven sergeant says, fire giant pirates can be a bit of a bother, but us dwarves are quite handy at it. Yeah, might have had an easier time if you'd had some of us amongst your crew. It's always a good idea to have a good squad of dwarven space marines with you.
Keep that in mind next time we're in Brawl.
Well, we'll take custody of them. I imagine that they'll probably be put to hard labor for some 20 years. It's always nice to have some fire giants around to do some forge work or heavy lifting when you need it.
Yeah,
yeah, imagine so. To fire.
Well, just glad that we could help clean up the space around here.
I'll be sharing the story with sharing the details with the magistrate. They will likely give you a reward. Pardon me. Someone should be by probably tomorrow with what you can expect.
Yeah.
Now the ship itself, were you wanting to keep it, or did you want to sell it for scrap?
Sell for scrap, or maybe work out some sort of barter trade. Our ship did take some damage from fighting those giants.
Yeah, it's a little bit beyond me, but I'll pass that on to the shipwrights.
All right, sounds good.
Someone should be by shortly, and once we talk to them and discuss the details with you.
Excellent, thank you.
So after about an hour, which is easily within the amount of time that you would need to, just secure everything on the ship, get your crew sorted away, to figure out any shore leave that they're going to get, that sort of thing. And you can appraise the coins, Lafdul. You don't need to.
Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to give the crew a bonus while we're here. Tell them to behave, but when they go on their shore leave, they'll have a little extra to spend.
Okay. So some members of the Shipwrights Guild come by to discuss. Number one, they saw the damage on your ship, and they're eager to get some pay to do repairs if you're interested, and to discuss the disposition of the Fire Giant's longship. So they tell you that they charge standard fees. Looking at your ship, looks like about 2,000 gold pieces per hull point of repairs, and they can do it pretty quickly. It's they can actually do it faster than one per day because they have more teams available. But
is that more expensive than Brow?
No, it's not. It's the same price.
Right.
2,000 is pretty standard. You'd be really lucky to find someplace that does it cheaper, and very unlucky to find someplace that does it more expensive.
Yeah.
It pays not to get hit, considering how much is this costing.
Well,
yeah.
But it's up to you whether you do this. You can continue to repair your ship yourself. It just takes a while.
Yeah.
They tell you that the Fire Giant ship is in pretty good condition. It looks like it was made within the last 10 years.
Okay.
Has very little damage on it. And they'd be willing to take it for... let me calculate out something.
We do have quite a lot of damage, so if you was going to get Braxon to repair it all, it would take quite some time. We're down to 46 hull points.
They would be willing to either pay you 2,000 gold or put it towards a hull point of repairs if you're going to do 2 or more hull points of repairs.
All right, so we are down.
We need 24 hull points repaired on the ship.
It's a lot of money.
And 2 hull points for the shuttle if we want to repair that.
Yeah. But I'm thinking from the point of view of time. Someone's playing with the hilt carrot sheet. The time taken to repair that would slow us down.
How about this? I'll say we did receive a helm too. I'll say we have the Fire Giant's helm still intact.
I don't think Close can use that though.
Hold on. Would you be willing to bargain with that for repairs?
Do you show it to him?
Yeah, I'll take him up to show it to him.
They say, oh, yeah, the problem, of course, is that it's, a little bit large for us. We would be willing to take it. I suppose we'd be willing to do 5 hull points in exchange for that if you do at least 8 hull points, 9 if you also throw in the ship.
How many hull points did he say?
So that would be, you would have to pay for 4 hull points, I believe.
I would have to pay for
8,000. Like for 8,000, I'll put it this way: for 8,000 gold, you can get I'll actually go up a little bit. 10 hull points restored.
For 8,000?
For 8,000 gold.
All right, we'll do that.
Okay. And that's including the helm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we take the broken helm from the ship remains from that one creature?
There was
No.
nothing left.
Nah,
broken helms
that was-
are broken. They're defunct. You can't like repair them.
Oh.
They'd only be of use if there was spellcasters that had spells that required bits broken off of spelljamming helms. So maybe you could do some spell research for spells relating to destroying helms or something.
Probably.
All right.
All right. So you shake on it, and they leave your ship, and you can see them immediately calling out to some workers, getting ready to get repairs. In addition, you do see an office on the docks that specifically sells lumber for ships to carry.
Braxon, you want to take care of getting us some wood?
Yeah. Well, you're getting 10 hull points fixed, are you?
Yeah, I've already marked it down on the ship, so. Baldor.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
So
You
we're
already-
here for 10 days then, at least.
No, they're going to
five.
do it a little bit faster, but it will take 2 days.
Wow.
Wow.
They have-
Okay.
they
So,
have so many
all right,
days.
real
teams.
fast. Again, it's still teams of 5 can repair 1 hull point per day, and last time you had this done on Brawl, they were only willing to spare you 1 team. These guys
I
can
see.
afford to spare you more because I don't have much else going on right now.
Right. So, if we're going to go up to 56 hull points, we need to get 16 more repaired. So we need 16 lots of wood.
You might want to get more as well, just to have it on
Yeah,
hand.
and we need to get more.
And it's 50 gold pieces per hull point, as compared to 100 gold pieces on Brawl.
Oh,
Yeah, so just let me know how many you're going to end up getting, Braxton, and then Higgimus will deduct it from the treasury.
Can we easily float at least half the total ship's hit points in lumber?
5 hull
'Cause-
points. 5 hull points
much
worth of lumber is 1 ton of cargo space,
yeah. How much can we fit on our ship?
and half of your cargo space has been turned into a library quarters.
That is true. So there's a limit to how much we can take.
If you want to discuss it with me after the session, we can do that.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I think I'd like to max out. If it's half price, we should get it. We're
Well-
gonna have to get it anyway at some point.
It's more that it's normal price here. It's double price on Brawl.
Yeah.
But since Brawl is basically our base of operation.
Yeah.
I will go and look for paper making equipment if we have time.
Okay. There's. Let's see.
And also bookbinding tools.
Okay. I will need to look up prices for some of that stuff, so I'll get it to
Yeah.
you after the session.
Yeah, no hurry.
Is there anything that anyone else wants to do before going to speak with the dwarven priest? Any shops that you want to hit up? That kind of thing.
Oh, well, Braxon was going to go look for a priest of Moradin, but I guess we're going there anyway.
I will also ask if there is a library in this city.
You learn that there isn't a public library, but there are some private libraries.
Okay.
I mean, did you want to like go to the libraries and do something in particular, or what?
Just go and study generally what kind of knowledge I could scrape from them.
Okay, they would charge you 50 gold pieces entry.
Okay. I will do that possibly after we have visited the dwarf and done the quest.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything that I know of. Until we know what we need to do, I don't think I have anything I need to go and grab.
Okay.
Yeah, I will go and fetch
Yeah, go ahead.
a wineskin full of ale, dwarven ale.
Okay. That would probably run you a silver piece.
And also drink a pint.
Okay. I'll just wrap that into the silver piece.
So which priest were we going to? Was it a priest or another one?
Priest of Dumathoin.
Oh, right. Well, then Braxon definitely wants to go to find a church of Moradin.
Okay, very easy to do in this city. Specifically, the city it's called Mordruman.
Mordruman.
And the Dwarven clan that this is a city of the Dwarven clan known as Goradrol.
It's a Goradrol clan.
Yeah. Now, Lafdul, did you want to try appraisal on the coins?
Yep.
Okay. 13 is your skill?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not sure exactly, but just going by weight, you would guess that these are about 10. They weigh about 10 times a normal coin.
Just say 10 times the value. Gold usually has a fixed weight.
So most metals
Value,
have fixed weights, yeah. So, assuming that there's someone willing to take it, they would probably
Melt it down. Can we look for a smeltery, I guess? Are we selling these coins?
I don't know. It's up to you guys.
I asked the party, or Higgimus, I guess.
Well, yeah, we'll probably want to sell them. So I don't know
Alright.
what would be the best way to go about doing that.
I would just go to a smeltery that deals with precious metals.
I mean, they're clearly coins, so any merchant that has a scale on hand, which most, certainly back on Brawl, they would.
Dwarven size scale.
They would just...
Is it big enough?
Yes. Scale is a scale. It's palm-sized, not like... Hold your hand out, ignore your fingers.
Yeah.
That's the size of the coin. That easily
like
fits on a scale.
Giant cookie.
But generally, merchants who... Because, like...
I was wondering if there's any bragging rights to it, having a giant coin.
I mean, there might be. But it's like, especially on Brawl, they get coins from Gray Space, Kryn Space, Realm Space, Great Space, Heart Space, all the time. And many of the merchants are just going to say, hey, if it weighs the same as a regular, another coin and it's gold, I'll take it as a gold coin, So, it's up to you whether you try to change them or sell them or what. So, did you guys want to pretty quickly go pay a visit to the Dwarven priest?
Well, once the Braxon has bought the lumber and such, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, Braxon wants to pop in the Church of Moradin, have a word with the priest.
Okay. I mean, might be reasonable to do that afterwards. I mean,
yeah,
like
okay.
Higgimus said, he wants to find out what's required before he decides if he needs to visit any shops. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. Is everyone gonna go, or is anyone gonna stay back?
Braxon go.
Solas will go, if nothing else, out of curiosity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
I'll go out of curiosity. There is something else I'm going to be doing later on,
Okay.
which I'm writing up as I PM you.
Okay. It's not too hard to find. You do have a letter of introduction, and you know that he is a high priest of the Temple of Dumathoin, and this is a clan that highly regards Dumathoin.
Okay.
So you make your way up to close to the top of the city. The topmost terrace of the city is clearly a citadel of some sort, castle, probably for the ruling members of the clan. And this temple is the second terrace. It is quite a hike. You see dwarves easily going up and down it, but you guys aren't used to it, and it takes a bit out of you.
No.
Viraja would be coming along as well, just to pay respects and everything like that. But
Yeah.
she probably
It's
won't be
like
doing
pilgrimage
anything
for her.
in particular.
Okay.
As you traverse up the city, you do see that most of the populace of the city are dwarves. But you do see some gnomes here and there, a few halflings, and some humans as well. You think you saw an elf as well, but certainly you're not seeing many of them.
All right.
And the higher you get on the terraces, the higher the ratio of dwarves to other races there are.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
And the city, the buildings are primarily built to dwarven height, so a little bit shorter than most of you would be used to for human or elven buildings. Certainly shorter than you would expect Higgimus, but luckily you're not going into any of the houses or shops at the moment.
Yeah. I'll probably have to. Will I have to crawl?
No.
No.
I mean, they generally still leave a foot of height, so you would be, like, if you were to go into a house, you would definitely be ducking down. A lot of it's going to depend on, who they expect to be coming. The lower part of the city, you were noticing a lot more of the buildings were built to heights to expect human-sized visitors.
Yeah.
But this high up, less so. You pretty easily, just by asking some directions here and there, find the Temple of Dumathoin, and it is a pretty impressive building. It has soaring towers, enormous doors on the front, clearly built, designed to have a large enclosed space within it, and there are windows along the sides that you're not sure if it's stained glass or gems, but something very colorful along the sides, forming windows. You approach the front of it, and there's a pair of dwarven warrior priests out front who stop you and ask your business before entering. They're quite polite about it. They're not at all gruff. Do you show the note?
Yeah, I'll show him the note, and while I'm handing it to him, I'll say, "We're here to speak with High Lord." Oh my goodness, this dwarf name. You
It
see that
helps
again?
to be.
So Lord High Beljural is his title.
High Lord Beljural. Probably saying that wrong.
And his name is Zardalf Drobendok.
Double Droboduck. I'll try.
You would roll an etiquette or something, couldn't you?
I could, I guess.
Plus 2,000 experience points for me for succeeding in getting players to butcher the names.
Would it help if I rolled a...
Old goes a GM level up.
Will it help if I rolled a...
Old gains 5,000 hit points.
I mean, if you the player mispronounce it. That doesn't necessarily mean that your character mispronounces it. So, it would depend more if it was a situation like you heard someone shout it out and you're trying to repeat it to guards, kind of thing, of like, well, I saw this happening. Then I'm going to take into account your mispronunciations, but in this case, I'm not. I just get a perverse pleasure out of it. It is something that is increased over game time.
Braxon says hello to the Dwarven guards in Dwarven.
They nod to you as they take the letter of introduction and glance over it. The guard hands it back to you and says, "Please wait here. Actually, come on in. We'll let you wait inside. We'll go inform his lordship that you are here. And see if he can see you now." He's going to take the letter introduction. Sorry, with him.
Oh, okay.
So I misspoke when I said that they gave it back to you. But you expect that this, like, you clearly understand with your etiquette proficiency that this is they're going to show the letter of introduction to the priest so that he knows who is introducing you to him and stuff like that.
Got it.
Solas will marvel at the architecture of the temple.
Yeah, Braxton's going to look at the stonework.
So they take you in, and the initial area that you come right into is not as high ceilinged as you expected. It's only about 12 feet high. Plenty of space for you, Higgimus. But you do see about 20 feet beyond this, without any doors or anything like that. It clearly opens up into an enormous interior space that the interior, like, your first reaction is, it's like a geode. It's just like glittering colors from all the windows projecting in. You look at the windows and you don't see... you don't see like figures in the windows like you would expect in some of the human stained glass windows. It seems more like they're creating patterns of color, as opposed to like scenes. But it's quite beautiful, and the architecture is impressive, well beyond anything that you've seen on Brawl. Lafdul. No, the letter was written in common so that you could read it. After about 15 to 20 minutes, the Dwarven guard comes back, returns the letter to you, and says, "His lordship will see you now, if you'll follow me."
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Were there any symbols carved on this or anything?
You can see at the far, on the doors outside, there was the symbol of a single mountain peak with a gemstone in the center. And you can see, like, larger than life at the far end of the temple. The same thing, this mountain peak shape with an enormous gemstone in the center. Outside, it looked more like design of sculpture, of engraving. The one in the far wall, you think that is a giant, massive gem.
Wow.
About the size of Higgimus.
Interesting.
Wow. Why aren't they be able to buy our gem here?
Oh, maybe. The Dwarven guard leads you to the side, down to a passageway that is like, you have to keep your ear tufts low, Higgimus. Otherwise, it's like half an inch right above your head. You only have to duck through the doorways. But
Okay.
it does make you a little nervous, because a little bounce could bump you into your head into the ceiling.
Yeah.
Braxon's going to look at the joints in the floor and stuff.
It's all stone. Like, everything is
Right.
stone.
So
And
all carved out.
well, no, they're discrete blocks, but they're big, and the joints are so small that you don't think that you could fit a slip of paper between them.
Amazing stonework, says Braxon.
Well, they are dwarves. Comment Solas.
Yeah. But this is super high quality.
Well, one would expect for such a grand temple.
Oh yeah, of course, but it doesn't stop it being impressive.
You pass a number of doors along the way, pretty simple wooden doors, and the hallway ends at a larger, more ornate door that the Dwarven Guard opens and kind of waves you in. You enter the chamber. It is quite opulent. There's a rich red rug on the floor. There are chairs that are quite plush, although, Higgimus, to your disappointment, you don't see any that were clearly designed for a Giff. There is a couch that you can sit on, but all of you kind of, stand inside waiting until you're given permission to sit.
Yeah.
You see behind a large dwarven desk a very old dwarf. Hard to estimate exactly his age, but his hair is completely silver. He's wrinkled like the oldest mountain you've ever seen. But he doesn't seem he doesn't seem any slow to move when he stands up and greets you. And he looks at you, Higgimus, and says, "Ah, my large friend, I apologize for not having an appropriate sized seat for you. We do not get many of your kind here, but please, the couch will hold your weight."
Oh, excellent.
The rest of you, please do take seats around.
All right. I will have a seat on the couch.
Braxton's going to go around and have a look at the walls and nod and.
He
Then
did
find a
actually, ask you to sit down.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll sit down. I mean, he'll have a look round just before he sits down.
Okay.
And it's saying Dwarven, very impressive room, excellent stonework.
Well, I mean, we try.
Ockar will sit down as well.
Now, I did. I spoke with Noberduk via letters. He informed me about what you wished, but please, I'd like to hear it from you, if you don't mind. He's looking at you, Higgimus.
Yeah. Well, I've kind of come up with a design for a wheellock pistol, and it's a design that I think would need the integrity of is it amantine or amantine?
Yeah, close enough.
Amantine.
I can never, honestly, never remember which is which, adamantite or adamantine. They mean different things.
Anyway, and I had asked him if there was somebody he could find to teach me how to work it, but I suppose it's a how would he phrase it? It's a very special material, and while he couldn't find somebody that would teach me how to make it, he did say that I might be able to find somebody here to who could work my design for me.
Yes, yes, indeed. Working of that material is considered a sacred secret. We are prevented from sharing it with outsiders. There aren't even many smiths skilled enough to work it, but here amongst Clan Goradal, Goradral, there are a few who can. And
I do have the design with me if you want to see it.
oh yes, yes. Well, we can get to that.
Okay.
As I mentioned to him, it just so happens that I believe that it is no coincidence that your request came to me at this time. You see, there is an important service that you could do for the dwarven peoples that would more than cover the labor required of creating such an item.
Yeah, nope. Lord Noberduk didn't mention that there would be a request that you have.
Did you say he did or didn't?
He did.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that I heard you correctly.
Yeah, he did.
He nods and then says, "Are you familiar with the dwarves known as Duergar?"
Is Higgimus?
You might have heard something about them, but they're not.
Braxon have heard of them.
You might have heard a little bit about them, like the name, but probably none of you would know much about them.
I other than a name, I don't think I know anything about them necessarily.
Oh, I know the word.
That's what I'll say to them.
They are they're an unfortunate offshoot that did not take to Moradin's teachings. They have favored a darker path. They are not terribly common in wild space. They favor the deep, dark realms beneath the worlds. But they do show up on occasion. And that is part of where my request comes in. In my youth, many hundreds of years ago, I lived on a dwarven citadel. It was called the Knowledge of Stone, here in Forge Space. And it was well before Brawl was even a human pirate port. But our citadel was attacked by a large force of Duergar. And it was a surprise attack. We were unable to fend them off. They, leaving most of us who were not killed to flee with very little of our possessions. Tools, treasures, tombs, that sort. But most importantly, there was a great artifact of Dumathoin. It was well hidden, well guarded by traps and wards. Whether they managed to discover it or not, I know not, but I suspect not. But my request would be for you to search for the Citadel, recover the artifact, and return it to us.
Did he mention... Oh, go ahead. You're not finished.
The artifact is known as the Syrah Crystal. It is a powerfully enchanted emerald gemstone set in mithril. Had great powers of protection and divination. Unfortunately, we have lost the location of the Knowledge of Stone in the intervening years. Many expeditions were made in the century or so afterwards, but never were we able to find the Citadel in its old orbit.
Well, your ships move, don't they?
They can.
Use normal helms.
They can indeed, and that is likely what happened to it. But finding this sacred relic has been the goal for most of my adult life. I never could figure out a way to do it. I'd heard the stories of the dwarves who tried to find it, but never could find any sign of the knowledge of stone anywhere. I have prayed to Dumathoin almost every day the last hundreds of years, but recently he has responded, I believe. He delivered to me news of an unusually powerful oracle on the hammer. You would remember that the hammer is the system primary. It's essentially the sun.
Mm-hmm.
I had said that this oracle is unusually strong, well beyond those who've held the role in generations past, and through a blessing of their gods is able to locate anything, anywhere. This oracle is not often disposed to hearing requests from those especially outside of their own community, but I don't believe Dumathoin would have made this information available to me directly if this had not been a sign. So I do believe that you would have a way of getting their assistance.
Okay. What do they normally trade in?
Well, we don't have much dealings with them. Just the usual occasional cargo ships. To be perfectly honest, I know little of what they might request for to share their aid.
All right. So
Let's give it
we
a
see
shot in
these
the dark.
oracles.
What was that, Higgimus?
So we see these oracles, or see the oracle here.
Yeah.
See if they'll let us or help us out. Okay.
Would Braxon know that he's possibly talking about an Azure?
No.
Do you happen to have like an object that would be tied to this? Wasn't what do they call their ship again?
The
Their
Citadel was
ships?
called the Knowledge of
Citadel.
Stone.
Do you have anything that was attached to this knowledge of stone, by any chance?
No longer. And most of those who escaped are long dead. I was one of the younger members of the clan on that Citadel.
Sorry, we could have tracked it down that way.
It's almost as if the
Okay.
Dungeon Master thought of that.
Yeah.
Of course he did. The Dungeon Master always thinks of everything.
Would you
Most
have,
definitely does not think of everything.
Would you have any recollection of the location of the object in the Citadel?
Unfortunately not. Being one of the youngsters at the time, it was not within my knowledge, but I was always passionate about Dumathoin and had planned to join the priesthood, but it was only after leaving the Citadel that I was able to do so. So unfortunately I cannot give you any assistance in locating or dealing with any traps or protections it might have.
Nor do you have any blueprints of how the Citadel looks inside?
I do not. I can tell you that, like most citadels, there is a castle structure above and mines below, but that is about it.
Ask around in a few taverns. Maybe there's some old dwarf tales.
Are we likely to be
He's
able to?
really old.
Are we
And he
likely
was
to
one
be
of the
able to
young people at the time, so... Go
Are we
ahead,
likely to be
Braxon.
able to restart your helm and bring the whole ship back here?
Well, I mean, if you had enough dwarves, I suppose it would be possible. It depends on the status of the forge.
Right.
Would you
How was
once
it
we
powered?
once we find or the oracle tells us where to look for this forge thing, citadel. do you want us to come back for anybody here to take with us, or do you want us to try on our?
Well,
Well, it
If
would be
they
what
would-
you deem necessary.
if they would send some of the priests of Dumathon, they could possibly, if the helm is intact, get it back to here.
You would know that you need a lot of dwarves to power a helm, a forge helm.
Right.
Like it's generally 1/3 of the entire population has to be working on that, working on stuff to power the ship.
Okay.
He does say, the Citadel itself, while still probably having a decade left in the mines, I imagine that the Duergar mined it out themselves. The Citadel itself is unimportant. When the mines play out, we move to a new asteroid and turn it into a new Citadel. That is of no concern. It is the artifact itself that is of concern to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, all right. Well, you're in luck. We happen to be specialists in recovering ancient artifacts for people, so I think we should be able to help you out with this.
Well, then it certainly does seem that Dumathorn has set us on a path together for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other questions?
On my star charts, do I recall seeing that place that he was talking about?
The knowledge of stone?
Yeah.
No, and generally, citadels, unless a citadel has been turned into something else, like it has become a port city like Brawlwood kind of thing, it's not going to be on the charts. In part because if you wait 30 years, it's been played out, the mines have been played out, 30 to 50 years, the mine's been played out, and the dwarves have moved on. So it would make star charts obsolete very quickly. To a certain extent, they're mobile homes, as opposed to, like, they're more akin to ships than they are to an asteroid port like Brawl.
Okay. How about
Yeah, and we probably can't tow it.
I'm sorry?
How about the Oracle place that he was talking about? Do we have the directions to that place?
Yes, he will give you the city in question, and I am looking at that right now. So the hammer itself, you remember from flying in, it was very much shaped like a hammer. The center of the system was basically an enormous cuboid with half of it glowing brightly and a long projection coming out like a handle. So it really does look like a hammer.
Okay.
And he
I thought that was the sun.
that is the sun. It's called the hammer.
Right. Is the handle of the hammer glowing as well?
No. Only half of the head of the hammer is glowing. And it rotates. So he gives you a quick rundown on where what he's heard about the Oracle. He doesn't know much about it, but the town in question that it's located near, he does give you enough directions. It's the people there don't have they don't spelljam themselves. But they do accept occasional dwarven traders. I mean, dwarves do come in and trade. And the Oracle is on a mountain outside of the town that he tells you to go to. That town is called Karkanos. And it is located on the shore of a large lake. And it is near the end of the handle part of the hammer. He tells you it'll be warm, but not blazing hot.
Does it compare to Radel? The hot side of Radel, if he knows of that?
He does not know enough about that. And
basically a desert. Dwarves know deserts.
I mean, dwarves know deserts, but
Right.
yeah, I'll have to look at that Discord thing later. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he knows deserts. There's some deserts on this world, but he has never been to the handle himself, so he doesn't know.
Right.
Any other information that you want to ask?
Is there anything we need to bring to this oracle? Is there anything we need to inform them ahead of time about?
Do they require an offering?
Yeah.
He doesn't know
docking to this place?
He doesn't know anything about that. He kind of reiterates that again. To his knowledge, they don't normally. It's not unheard of, but it's extremely rare that they deal with outsiders. But he is convinced that Dumathoin has shared this information with him because there's a way, but he doesn't know what that way is.
Okay. Are there any traps that he can recall that we should be aware of
He had no involvement in any of that. He was too young.
Ah, right. Okay.
Are there any libraries or stuff we could do research on it, I guess?
I did mention that there are some private libraries, but it was 100 gold pieces to get in.
You said 50.
Oh, 50? Sorry.
Yeah, 50.
Casual 50 gold increase.
No,
Yeah.
I was misremembering what I said.
Does the temple have their own library?
They do for members of the clergy only.
Ah. And wouldn't make exception in this case.
Not at this time. Maybe after you're done with the quest. But you're getting the impression that he's making this as a personal request as opposed to this is a request from the Church of Dumathoin.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
so
finding this relic is kind of his white whale, except it's not a crazy Moby Dick, crazy captain thing.
Well, you say that, but there might be white whale involved.
Would they let Vahadra in?
Oh, Varadra's in with you. She's looking around the temple.
No, I mean.
Oh, in the temple? No, she's not a priestess of Dumathoin.
Yeah.
All right.
She couldn't pass up this opportunity to meet such a respected elder of any priesthood.
Yeah. And the temple is magnificent from architecture point of view and engineering.
Oh, and Varadra has this big silly grin on her face the entire time. She can sense the holy power of the place.
Oh, I guess something. In case there's Durgar still there, is there anything we should know about them? Or how to deal with them best?
He tells you that they're very canny fighters. They are good at trickery, and you do have to be exceptionally careful. He personally doubts that there are Durgar still there because the mine would be played out by now.
Right.
In his experience, old citadels tend to be they tend to. They'll sometimes get taken over by gnomes. They'll oftentimes be taken over by pirates, beholders, other things that don't like the dark.
Every time he
Or the
starts
sunlight.
mentioning like more and more things, Higgimus's ear tufts get lower and lower.
Braxon,
Alright.
Braxon mutters to Higgimus, "Are you going to hang a beholder head on your wall?"
Mm-mm. We're taking
Because
the eye stalks, though.
all of the beholder is head.
Well, not the eye stalks.
No, the eye stalks would be something that Higgimus would take.
Anyone have any other questions?
Mm-hmm. Question. Is there anything else we should bring back? I mean, obviously our primary goal is to rescue this thing, but would there be anything in the temple? Any holy relics? Or, I saw that symbol with a mountain and a gem. Would there be anything like that you'd want us to bring back if we can?
He thinks for a moment and says, "Well, if you see anything that clearly appears to be holy, then yes, we would appreciate the return of it.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you what is still there and what is not."
If it's just a mundane, say, treasure or coins or whatever along that lines, are we allowed to keep that?
So long as it's not clearly part of a tomb, although it's pretty rare for us to leave grave goods in tombs when we build them into citadels, since we plan to leave eventually, and the grave robbers could easily get them. We usually just
And,
inter our dead with some personal weapons and armor and personal items, and not much in the way of valuables. Valuables
got
are filled.
Duergar would probably have looted those.
We got
It's
a
certainly possible.
dwarven priest we could take along with us. She could tell us what's okay and what's not, I guess.
Yeah. No, I just figured there might be some things that aren't valuable to anyone except the church.
Well, Philandra would probably be able to tell us.
Yeah.
If we
Okay.
take her along.
Yeah. All right. Does anybody else have any questions for the good man? Dwarf? I mean.
I'm going to take that as a no.
Alright.
All right. So with that, he shakes each of your hands and expresses appreciation. And before you leave, he mutters a prayer to Dumathoin for your safety and good fortune.
Okay.
And
I will do in kind, but I pray for Ogma.
All right. And then the Dwarven Guard escorts you out. You do get your letter of introduction back at this point, just in case you want to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Can
yep.
he give us a letter of introduction to these oracles? The oracles are dwarves too, right?
He didn't say.
He didn't say. Oh.
Important question. Missed opportunity.
And no, he did not give you any sort of letter of introduction. You got the impression that, like, so as a matter of faith, he believes that you can just go there and they will help you somehow.
Okay.
Because he fervently believes that Dumathoin has shared this information with him, while also sharing news of you wanting their help. So he's like, divine providence. Clearly, this is what's going on, and he doesn't personally know the Oracle there. So, a letter of you like from your etiquette proficiency, you would believe that he doesn't personally know this Oracle. So, a letter of introduction from him would really mean nothing.
Okay.
Braxon says to Higgimus, how about we get something like a holy symbol of Dumathoin to give to the Oracle as a gift?
we don't even know if they worship this guy. They're dwarves.
There are some libraries that we could do some research about this subject, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Go ahead.
They are not public, so it would incur a small cost.
Can you read Dwarven?
No, not personally.
I think what's going to happen is we're going to get there, and if they don't, they might have something up for us to do for them. Maybe.
Yeah, that's most likely.
It's generally how people operate.
I would guess that the Oracle knows to expect us, possibly.
I mean, certainly if this priest is right, the dwarf is right, that this is all God's working to do some stuff. Yeah, certainly a possibility.
Yep.
All right, so you find yourself back outside of the temple. I'm sorry I don't have like any pictures of the town or anything like that to show you. I think we might be stuck on this picture at the floor plan of your battle dolphin for a while, since I don't really have much else. I suppose I could.
Yeah, you can. At
That
least
picture of a giant hammer.
Giants out.
Do you have a picture of the spear, the crystal spear?
No, I don't. This is all stuff coming from my own mind, so I don't have any artwork, and I have no artistic ability whatsoever. I've popped the stream over to the start image, so.
Okay.
You could have a picture of your mind.
Yes, it's really what you want to see, my brains.
Yes, I'm sure they're giga.
So you find yourself back outside of the temple. I know that Braxon, you wanted to pay a visit to a temple of Moradin.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else want to go, or does you guys want to like split up and do things? I know Lafdul wants to do something.
Yeah, probably. I'll say to everyone, all right, mind your P's and Q's while we're here. And make preparations. It looks like we're going to be going to a place that's going to be similar to that pirates place that we went to that one time. So full traps, probably creatures of different sorts, dangerous stuff. So just make sure you're prepared with all the things that you need for that. I'll try to think of things that I can. And with that, Higgimus will depart. He's going to go shopping. See what stuff is here. These are dwarves. They probably make nice stuff.
It was 2 days that the carpenters took for fixing that ship.
Yeah, that hasn't passed yet, though.
Yeah. I was just how much time we have to spend in the city.
I mean, you can stretch that out to 3 as well, just for ease of purpose and stuff like that.
Was that 50 gold for
per day?
1 day or
per day?
Per day, okay.
All right, so Braxon, you ask for some directions to get to the Temple of Moradin, and you make your way over there. What did you want to do?
Just see one of the priests in there.
Okay. So you come up to the entrance of another temple. This temple has rather different architecture, but it's only slightly less grand than the Temple of Dumathoin. And you can see smoke coming out of some smokestacks near the back. You would guess that they do some forging here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And you're stopped by a guard at the entrance.
Yeah, Braxon says to the guard in Dwarven, I was recently in a fight with some fire giants, and Moradin helped me, so I'd like to make a small donation to one of your priests.
Oh, hi, yes, come on in. So he takes you into the temple. The interior of the temple is not as wide and open as the Temple of Dumathoin, but there is still a pretty large open space on the inside. You see at the back of the open area the symbol of an anvil with a hammer above it.
Very nice.
And a young dwarven priestess comes up to you, her beard forming a good dozen braids, and she says, "Yes, how can we help you? You wish to make a donation?"
Thank you for seeing me. Yes, Moradin helped me in a fight. We were fighting some fire dwarves, and I had some marbles, and I shouted in Dwarven that they were the magical marbles of Moradin, and threw them at one of the giants. And Moradin helped me because he believed me and fell over, and that helped us win the fight. So,
indeed, he is quite happy to assist those who call on him, especially against those who are our foes. You said you wish to make a donation in appreciation?
Yeah. So Braxon hands over 100 gold pieces. And says,
go ahead.
And says, I hope you can use that for some good work.
She takes the pouch with reverence and doesn't even count it. She says, "Thank you, my son. Moradin will look out for you, I'm sure. Thank you for your generosity."
Thank you. And very nice temple you have here.
It is, isn't it? It is our pride and joy. And unless you had another question or something like that, the guard will lead you out.
Yeah, Braxton, so I've kept you from your duties long enough, and then leave.
All right. You're guided out, and the dwarven guard says to you as you're leaving, "Thanks for your generosity. We greatly appreciate it, and I'm sure Moradin will continue to look out for you, despite you being a human."
Yeah. Well, thanks very much.
Are you planning to change faiths or something? I'm not sure.
No.
Okay.
No, but he invoked the name of Moradin.
Okay.
Which is a little bit naughty.
I mean, it's up to you. You could, if you wanted to change faiths, I don't get a problem with that.
Lafdul doesn't say any of the other elven deities when he calls out for.
Some might have some offense if you invoke other deities too much.
Yeah, it's up to him though.
Ockar sometimes invokes Thor or Odin, but they're part of the same pantheon.
Are you a paladin of Tyr or paladin of the Pantheon?
Tyr.
Tyr.
Oh, yeah. Strictly Tyr then.
But he follows the entire Norse pantheon.
Same as I am cleric of Ogma, but I still do stuff for the whole pantheon.
Okay.
Well, what you got to realise is Braxon knows that all the gods work for Patar.
Not all of them.
No, they do, because he's leader of all the gods in existence.
As far as Braxon is concerned, yeah. All right.
Hope you don't say that to Ockar or myself.
I'd like to see how he holds up at Ragnarok.
None of you are here, so you don't know this. But Braxton's been told that Patar created the dwarves and got Moradin to look after the dwarves for him.
Right.
How are you invading someone's personal mind, Ockar? You got some new ability you've not told the party about.
All right. Was there something else that you wanted to do after visiting the temple, Braxton, or are you gonna make your way back to the ship?
Make his way back. Well, he'd be doing research on the wood, but we can take care of that after the game.
Okay. All right. Who else wanted to do some stuff?
Well, I not I will not today, but the second day I will spend in one of the libraries doing research on those citadels and Duergar if possible.
Okay. I'm generally okay doing things out of order when you're in ports like this. All right, so you...
I will also restock my miniature Warhammers.
Okay. Yeah, those are pretty easy to get here because they're...
Oh, do we need to redo our
You
costume?
do not, because this is... You haven't been gone long enough and you haven't done enough despite having a bunch of encounters. It's... While I will sometimes require you to do it in the middle of adventures, it's usually at the end of adventures. But I'll let you know if I feel that you need to. All right, so you check around these private libraries. It's not easy to find one that has a good supply of books in common.
Well, if they happen to have books in Elvis or Old Wyrmish, that's also okay.
Yeah, not so much. Of the libraries that you check on, you do find the one that seems to have the best collection of books in common. It's still a minority of the books. But
I understand.
You pay the fee to get in and start checking around. What kind of information are you looking for?
Mostly on information on possible blueprints of these citadels, if there are any common designs in them.
Well, you quickly discover that every single citadel is different.
Okay, and of course I will also study on Duergar, since they are not familiar to me.
The information that you mostly come away with is that they're also known as gray dwarves or dark dwarves. They split with the most of the other dwarven groups in ancient times over a theological difference between their god and the main dwarven gods. They primarily follow Lafdul, and he kind of self-exiled himself.
Yeah, okay.
And there are pretty substantial hostilities between Duergar and normal dwarves. They have additional magical powers above and beyond what normal dwarves have, but you can't get a good summary of those.
Okay. Oh yeah, I will also do small research on Solas' passion project, brewing, and I will try to find how they brew dwarven ale.
You find like a whole section dedicated to it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're almost all in Dwarvish. You do find one book, and in addition to being a library, this is a place that you can actually purchase books from.
Yeah.
So this is it's a copy in common of a dwarven book that they have. So they would be willing to sell it to you for 200 gold, and it does detail some common brew varieties.
Of course I will buy it.
And you might be able to extrapolate out or experiment with these to either recreate the brews or create your own brews.
Yeah, of course I will buy it. It's clearly important book.
Beerly important book? No, I was kidding.
Yes.
All right, so you purchase that for 200 gold?
Yeah.
All right.
Leva will also go to the library, by the way.
I will say that that is not going to help you in any way with spell research, just so you know.
But it's going to help me brewery research.
Which is perfectly fine. All right.
Yes, and as important.
Wait, does
Leva is not interested in beer, however.
Yeah.
Or
Oh.
at all.
What if they
we
were
don't have any
researching
dwarves
a
on our
create?
crew, otherwise they would See you as a heretic.
We do have a dwarf on our crew.
Do we?
One of our helmsmen is a
Yeah,
dwarf.
Varadra.
Oh, well, don't tell Varadra that you don't care about beer.
It's a stereotype that dwarves all love alcoholic beverages. Not all dwarves do.
Yeah.
And
Only
it's
the good dwarves do.
good to break stereotypes. Leva, what kind of books are you looking for?
I'm looking for any information about what happened to us.
These libraries don't have much in the way of magical information. You would learn this up front before paying anything, because dwarves don't have wizards.
Yeah,
what a
I
pity.
will personally study that back in Brawl.
And in general, she will also look at Duergar and all the information that's available about them.
Okay.
You can look for something of lore and legends.
Then in that case, you would probably go with Solas at the same
Solas.
time and go to the same library, so you would also pay the 50 gold pieces.
Yeah, I've already deducted that.
And you learn the same thing that he does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else that you wanted to do?
Well, I will look for the paper making and book making.
Yeah.
Gear, like I told you earlier.
Leva, anything that you wanted to do?
And
Not
also
really.
told Leva and Lafdul about it.
Not really, because as you say, they don't have that much information on magic and wizardly stuff.
Yeah. You learn that they do have that there are priestly books on magic, like geared towards the priesthoods, but the priesthoods themselves maintain those, and they don't give access to outsiders. So
Anyway, Leva is not really into gods and stuff. That's for others. They can believe in anything they want, but so she wouldn't really be able to make sense of those books, I would think.
Have you made that known to Lafdul?
What?
Have you made that statement known to Lafdul, so to speak?
She doesn't. She only comes with to the temples, etc., to find out what people see in those.
No,
and
I'm
yes,
just
she
wondering
has
if-
actually. She has made it clear, because we once went to a what was it? The Temple of Tyr, when we had to. What was it we did there? I forget. A long time
You guys
ago.
went to a Temple of Tyr was to destroy artifacts.
I do remember you making some comments about not believing in the gods, but I don't remember the exact
No, it's
circumstances.
just that would have.
And she never made any points about it, but she doesn't advertise it either. So unless you asked her directly or listened in when she actually was at the temple, you wouldn't know, because she doesn't advertise it.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have affected me asking my deity to ask for you back, because I wouldn't have asked.
But you did.
Yeah, because I didn't.
The problem is,
I honestly, I think that you as a player then forgot, because I've gotten the impression that she's made it pretty clear on multiple occasions that...
Yeah, I've known that she's not religious, but not fervently, against it.
Well, she's not
I'm
fervently
against it. She just doesn't understand what this is all about.
Right.
It's not that if she was fervently against it, she would make fun of you and what you believe in, and she doesn't do that. She just doesn't understand it. That's why she goes with to the temples to figure it out. Maybe one day she actually finds religion. Probably not, but maybe.
Okay.
Ockar could tell you all you need to know about Tyr.
Lafdul.
No, thank you.
Lafdul, you wanted to do something as well? So you take your leave from the rest of the party?
Yeah,
Right.
yes.
Were you using the hat or what?
I'd be using my hat, guys,
Okay.
because it can alter my height.
I kind of want to do something as well, but I'll wait until after Lafdul.
All right. Well, I would hope so.
I'm trying to acquire a new holy symbol, so funny games.
All right.
I'll have to
So
PM out
describe
an essay.
describe where you're going and what you're doing.
I sent
I
you.
saw it. I saw it, but
All right. So Lafdul has this idea of going about as uh, a dwarven teenager who's slightly impoverished, homeless. You know, he's come into a little bit of change. He's buying some clothes at a shop, and he plans on shortchanging
okay.
this guy. So if he gets caught, he's going to play it off that. Well, no, he's going to play into a little bit that he's a little bit dense.
Okay.
So that he's going to play off as an honest mayor, so that he can say sorry that he's just not had the best education with money.
You're going
Matters.
above and beyond with this, Con.
The thing is, it just makes it a lot easier than just rolling a thing all the time. It makes it more interesting. Some people told me that they like this. So.
And is the short change thing like what are you expecting to get out of the first holy
Just a
symbol?
copper. Yeah, just a copper holy symbol. Something.
Okay. Have you had a copper coin as a holy symbol before?
Nope.
Okay.
Because I failed the 3 times that I tried to shortchange.
Have you increased your pickpocketing since then?
Yeah, I have. I got 60%. So I was doing this without my armor, so I would have left my armor in my. I would have left the majority of my equipment. Actually.
Okay. So you have a 60% chance, you said.
Yeah, I'm going with my heart. I'm.
All right.
Basically,
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
All right. So
Keep
you
myself light.
you go into a shop and you know you're looking a little dirty. The
Yeah, a little bit scruffed up, you know.
shopkeeper's clearly
they kick
giving
me
you
out straight up.
he's clearly giving you a suspicious eye. But you browse through some clothing. You know, get a
I tried to look hopeful. It's like, oh, this looks nice.
get an
And he's,
outfit.
like scowling at me or something.
You get a belt, maybe some simple boots, and you go to pay for your purchase. And he's still kind of looking at you suspiciously, and he goes through it all. No, that'll be 4 silver pieces. And you go through the process of trying to palm some money.
So I pay like 2 silver and the rest in copper or something, I guess.
Well, specifically the way that it's done is it's like you say, oh, can you break this larger coin? Oh, and you know, kind of thing, and go back and forth and end up with more. But so you do that, and you palm some coins, and you succeed in palming some copper pieces.
Yay! It works for once. Oh my god! Finally putting points into this pickpocketing. Malarkey.
Should have made him steal a pickaxe.
No.
He accepts the money that you're paying him. And,
Maybe I did fail, and he's just being sympathetic.
you walk out with your new purchases of dwarven clothing and belt and boots.
For a teenager, I assume, because
Sure.
obviously. All right, then.
Old question.
Mhm.
How aware is Leva that Lafdul actually asked his deity to what, revive her, to resurrect her?
What do you mean?
I would have told you. No, because you would have known, because you got asked from Aravan, and you know that I worship Aravan.
Well, it wouldn't be conscious. That wouldn't be a conscious known thing.
So she doesn't really know that it was Lafdul and his deity.
Well, I mean, you eventually
would've
got
told
brought.
you.
Well, Lafdul would have told you that he attempted it.
Well,
Yeah,
I
did.
don't know if he would have attempted. If he says that he attempted it, then you know that you.
Yeah, I made it clear that I asked Aravan, and
You don't know if it's you know it didn't succeed. You
Yeah.
don't know that it didn't succeed because you refused. Because this is
But
more
Lafdul knows that.
like this was even Lafdul doesn't know that. He basically got a negative response from his deity. Now, the negative response was because the deity basically asked Leva's spirit directly as opposed to her consciousness, and her spirit refused.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like out of game, we know that's because you didn't want to risk a reincarnation. In game, it could have been it could be a case of, you know, no, I don't want the the divine interference or something like that. Whatever. You can decide that how you want it. Like,
Okay.
you can decide the reason. If there is an obvious reason, that's up to you. I'm not gonna make you do that or anything like that. All right. So, yeah, Lafdul, you got that, and kind of quickly move away just in case he notices.
Yep.
Ockar, you wanted to do something.
Yeah, I wanted to take a look at some of the. This is the Dwarven Citadel we're in, right?
It's a dwarven city.
Yeah, I wanted to take a look at some fine Dwarven armor. See if they have
Fine
anything
dwarven clothes,
human-sized.
Lafdul could recommend.
I wanted to see if they have anything human-sized of Dwarven make.
They do have some stuff, but it's primarily mail and banded and splint armor. They don't have any plate armor of human size.
How about any good-looking shields?
Plenty of shields.
Okay.
I mean, a shield is a shield, basically. They have plenty of, like, bucklers, small, medium shields. Not too many large shields, though.
I'll ask if they get any magic shields.
No, they do not.
Okay, then never mind.
Dwarves
Pretty
cannot do
unlikely
magic
that you'll
damage.
find that in most places.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask.
All right, Higgimus, are you there?
Yep.
Did you want to do something?
Well, I think Ockar covered it already. Not necessarily the armor, but I was going to check for weapons and that sort of thing.
Nothing magical, but there are weapons. Non-magical weapons.
Oh wait,
Do
did
they
they have
have
anything
any-
in that Mantine?
No.
We're doing a whole quest
Yeah, that's all.
to get.
That's all commission stuff.
Arco just wants to buy some at like Best Buys or something.
Hey, I thought I'd ask just in case.
Yeah, basically you learn that anything of mithril or adamantite would require a commission, basically.
Okay.
Okay.
Then yeah, I don't really have anything. I'm still good on all my rations and stuff.
Old.
Yeah.
Out of interest, how much would sextant cost?
I'd have to look it up.
Ain't near the same price as Spyglass.
I don't think so. Sextant it doesn't magnify.
Sextant does more than spyglass.
Well, it doesn't really magnify. I don't believe. I'll look to
Spyglass
see.
isn't magical.
I'll look to see if I can find a listing for it.
Okay.
But if
We
does
have
anyone
one on the ship.
How much compass would cost?
compasses would be pretty cheap, but I'd still have to look it up.
Okay.
Does anyone else have anything that they want to do in town?
Yeah.
Alright.
Braxon wants to go back to the ship and pick up Varadra.
Well, Varadra's after leaving the Temple of Dumathoin, Varadra went to a temple of Muamon Duathal.
All right. Well, Braxon to go looking for her, see if he can find her.
She probably wouldn't have said where she was going. She just would say that she's going to meet
All
me
right.
back at the ship. I mean, she's a dwarf in a dwarven city. This is like, you would not be surprised if you don't see her until it's time to leave. Well, like you've given your crew shore leave and told them when you expect to leave again.
All right. Well,
And-
Braxon wants to get her a gift.
Well, you can get her a gift and give it to her when she returns to the ship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Um.
I will also get tools that you use on map making.
Okay,
No.
I'll look that up afterwards.
Okay.
What kind of gift were you
Oh,
looking at?
actually, I do know. I
All
do
right,
know.
hold on. Braxon, what kind?
I'm thinking of something that would be useful for a cleric of Marthma doing.
Oh, so you didn't have an idea right now of what you were getting her?
No. Well, I'm trying to remember what weapon she uses and stuff.
I believe she
or
has a
maybe-
mace. All right, so how about this? Just think of what you want to do for next session then.
Yeah.
Like what kind of
okay.
gift that you'd want to give her.
Was maybe a nicer mace than the one she's got.
Sure, I'm just saying you can think about that in between sessions and let me know, either at the start of next session or before if you think that if you're curious about the pricing or something like that.
Okay. Fair enough.
And Higgimus, you just had a thought?
Yes. So we're going to be going to like a citadel thing. Is there some like tools or some sort of specialized equipment we can look for in the city? I'll check several places that would help us like locate things inside a citadel, like special dwarf tools that you use to work in the citadels to open up stuff and that sort of thing.
Not really. Like asking around, you kind of learn that traps and hidden passages and compartments and stuff like that will vary from citadel to citadel based on what fits where, who the builders are, what kind of ideas they have, stuff like that. So they can't really give you any kind of tips on that kind of thing.
Okay. Any like gradient measuring tools or things that could help find like the thin cracks that doors might have or joints and that sort of thing?
Not really. If you wanted to get something like a plumb line for checking angles for sloping passages, there's that. But
Okay.
no, I mean you just gotta find it.
Okay.
Okay. So I will assume that barring any last minute ideas of things that people want or Sinrae wanting something, you'll probably be setting off at the start of next session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, so experience points. Let's let me do some mathematics. Okay, that is going to be. Let's see. I'll give Sinrae's experience after the session. Solas, 6,000 experience points.
Ooh, 6,000.
Nice.
Lafdul,
Level.
that is a level?
Yeah, for mage.
Okay.
Oh,
Lafdul,
for mage.
and that's with it being split?
Yeah.
Lafdul and Leva, 6,100.
No
Do I
level
get
here.
anything for my thief or mischief maker?
I included that in there.
Gosh,
good.
still 81,000 to get. Oh.
16.
How much did I get?
I haven't given it out yet. Hold on a second. Braxon and Higgimus, that is going to be 6,300 each. And Ockar, 7,800.
Nice.
All right, so Solas, you gained a level.
Yeah.
You can take the 2 hit points, or you can roll 1d4.
Of course I'm going to be rolling.
Wait, 7,800. Is that 7,800 or?
Yeah, 7,800.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. 3 hit points.
Right back.
Well, 4 because I get the plus
Beat
1.
the average.
Are you gaining a new spell level?
Just a moment. 5th level will give me...
If you're 5th
Your
level,
third
then you'll
level.
get access to level
It
3
will
spells.
give me 3rd level spell.
Okay. Then you can choose a spell automatically that you do not
Yeah.
have to roll for.
And not named one.
Correct. And it has to be a player's handbook unnamed spell of 3rd level.
Yeah.
Okay, and let me see. I don't think that your saving throws are going to improve, but I'll take a look. Nope, next level.
And no Thaco improvements or...
Considering that you're a priest, I seriously doubt it. And no, Wizard Thaco improves at
Yeah,
4,
slowly.
7, 10.
And no new proficiency slots.
Nope.
But if I'm correct, next level would give me quite a few.
Quite possibly. I'd have to look it up. Okay, no one else is going up a level?
I did see my note wrong, but yeah. No.
No, not yet.
Alrighty. Alright, so I want to thank you guys for playing. Thanks everyone out there for watching. We will be back next week as we leave the dwarven world of the anvil and head to basically the sun, which is called the hammer.
Thanks for the game.
Thanks for the game.
Yeah,
Thanks for sending us to a weird pocket dimension.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing if you guys can ever figure out what happened with that.
And thanks for telling us to flight into a sun.
Yeah, you know, as you do. See you next week, everyone.
See ya.